Hello and welcome to the first vlog of the Spiritual Surfer channel. Everybody, welcome. I'm going to start by doing a little bit of toning because I just want to set the scene for what we're going to talk about today. You are welcome to join in if you so wish, or you can just listen. It's not going to last long. It's really just to tune in and help myself to I suppose just get in touch with the planet and myself on a deeper level. Okay, so everybody welcome. The main principle of what this whole channel is about is basically to help support people in all the changes that are happening on the planet. And that really encompasses and umbrellas, including the physical changes, the spiritual changes, I would say also the magnetic changes. There's a lot of people out there that are quite sensitive. This can result in lack of sleep, not being able to sleep in the middle of the night, waking up. It can also result in low energy, being much more affected by the weather, like we have a storm here today. And all of those things, plus obviously if you're an astrologist or astrologer, you're going to be connected with how the planets are affecting you, because planets are basically just massive magnets, and the human body is just electrified water. I mean, that's a very simple term, but that is essentially why we are influenced by what's happening. There's many different layers to this. I'm only going to touch on the top layer, and it's really an introduction. A lot more depth and a lot more intricate viewpoints of what's happening right now, what is happening in the next 2 to 3 years, and how people like myself, I wouldn't say I'm a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. I work with people. Basically, I am a balancer or a healer, and it is in my interest and my desire to contact with as many people where this kind of information and this kind of forum, so to speak, resonates with you. And if you come across this and you think it sounds a bit crazy, don't judge it straight away. Just let it wash over you, because there might be something there that resonates with you, and then you might find it more interesting. Essentially, I want to talk about what's happening on the planet right now. I mean, we went through a massive shift in 2012. There are quite a lot of people that are aware of this. Some people have integrated this into their lives more. Other people are just becoming aware of these changes. I think a lot of people are becoming aware of the weather patterns changing, and that's obviously interlinked. But if you are more sensitive and maybe you've been practicing tuning or becoming more aware of your sensitivity, you will notice these things. And it's essentially, obviously, people who are interested in this and have done their personal research, it's been predicted this is happening. We didn't know how it would turn out, but as it has, I think actually, in my opinion, if you look at all the information on the internet, and there's a huge amount of body of information if you're interested in finding it and looking at it, about basically how I think we're actually ahead of where we were predicted to be at this time. And my understanding is that we're actually embodying and taking on the changes at a faster pace. And actually that's, in some respects, for sensitive people, that's harder, because the changes come thick and fast, and you're all constantly recalibrating yourself, your body, your emotions, what you want to do in your life, where you want to go, how all the things that aren't working in your life are crumbling, and then trying to recreate new things that are going to work. What I understand from my personal perspective is that how we used to work in the old energy is not going to work in the new energy. And making that transition, not only just on a personal level, on a professional level, on a spiritual level, is challenging. And the principles upon which this platform are built is that we are going to create a forum for people to come in and have an expertise. I will be interviewing people, but essentially it's about how we can use certain tools, how we can basically embrace the changes, use those changes basically for our own empowerment. And the other aspect is to able to embrace it and enjoy them and integrate them into our lives. Now, obviously just talking about it is very different from doing it, but I think it's about taking step by step by step and being gentle with yourself. I certainly have to remind myself of that as a practitioner, as a healer, and also as somebody who has been wanting to do this for a very long time, and the timing hasn't been right, but now I think the timing's bang on, personally for me. But I think also if you look around, just look at the news, the old ways, the old systems, everything's crumbling. Now, it has to do that, because the old systems that have been held in place for hundreds of years or even thousands of years on this planet do no longer work in the new energy. So it's going to get messy. And one of the principles about this forum is to help people understand that actually what's happening is not a negative thing, it's a positive thing. But with any great change comes a lot of uncertainty and a lot of, well, questions. And I think it's a journey that actually, personally, I want to go with people who this kind of material resonates with, and I want there to be a kind of a supportive environment, so that can incorporate lots of different people that will give their understanding and their opinion about what's happening, including myself. A lot of this is very much linked into our relationship with the planet. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on out there about people connecting with how we're affecting the planet. I think there are a lot more things outside of what we're aware of consciously. And I want to touch on some of that as well. Essentially, today is just an overview and the principles by which I want to create this forum. But for me, to be totally honest with you, this is a massively exciting time. It feels to me on a personal level that I have been coming to this planet for thousands of lives. And I'm starting to remember pieces of those lives in relationship to that information actually now being relevant to me at this point, because I have some role to play in this transition. And that comes just purely from what my soul is telling me, whether it's my soul, my higher self, or the piece of God that I'm connected to, or that I am, what I am, as in we're all parts and pieces of God, and we're all unique in our own way, and we all resonate at different frequencies, but essentially we're all connected by that thread. And our relationship and the intertwinedness of this with the planet is so essential right now. So the overview of what I'm going to say is that this is a supportive environment for people where this information resonates. And the main principle about today is that a lot of people are looking at their lives at this moment, and it's about their happiness with themselves, whether that's to do with what they do for a living, whether that's to do with the relationships they have, their partners, their wives, their children, what their family relationships. And a lot of it, if those things don't work in your life, we're all being forced, because of the energy and the ramping up of the energy and the intensity of that energy, to actually deal with that. So we can't put it to one side like we used to in the old energy. It's so strong now that we have to honor it. So essentially we are now being forced to honor our hearts, which is the guidance for our soul, basically, to be fulfilling ourselves in terms of what makes us happy. And I think essentially that is the key to this particular blog, is that we have to now honor that. And I'm honoring that by speaking to you in this vlog, because I haven't been doing it and I've been wanting to do it, and now is the time. So I intend to have a vlog once a week. Please be patient with me. It's a new experience for me. I've got to teach myself how to edit and all the other things that go with it. So this will happen as I become more proficient. It will grow the technical side. But for me, it's all about the information and what resonates with you if you come across this and you listen to this. So that's just an overview of what I'd like to create in this forum, and the name and the link will be below, and it's called a Spiritual Surfer Channel. And you are welcome, and I'm gonna sign off now. So if there was any of that information was interesting to you, or it resonated with you, please, you are welcome to follow my channel. I hopefully will have something out in a week's time. Then we're going to start going into more specific bits of information, but this was just an overview. So I will say sign off, and bless all of you, and I will speak to you soon.